warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you are all in a good condition. So, let me introduce myself first. My name is Rosa Salsabilla and I am from English Education Department. So, today we will learn English together. But before I tell you what we will learn today, I have some pictures and video for you to see. So, let's check it out.
Have you ever seen the meme like this? Or maybe something just like as this video? Yes, we're gonna focusing on the term in the brackets. I am cooked. The word I am cooked here means that you're done. Or you're over, my love is over. But we're not gonna focusing on the term. We're gonna focusing on what is the grammar used in this term. Yes, I'm pretty sure that you already familiar with I am cooked. And it is not something that you usually use. What I mean is, I'm pretty sure you already know how to use the word I cook. I cook something. But here it is I am cooked. You can see the difference, right? So today we will discuss about passive voice. So today we will discuss about what is passive voice, but we are only focusing on simple present. And then we will also discuss about the pattern in passive voice of simple present tense. And then also there will be the example of passive voice, and also lastly the exercise. Okay, so we will discuss about what is passive voice. But before we discuss about what is passive voice, I will discuss a little bit about active voice first, so you will understand what is the difference between active and passive voice. Okay, so active voice is focusing on what the subject does. For example, here is I cook a meal. So I is the subject and I doing something, which is cooking as the verb. Okay, this is the word form that you usually or you already familiar, right? This is the active voice. While in passive voice, the I is still subject, but this focusing not what the subject does, but it is focusing on what happened to the subject. Okay, so this here, it is not doing something anymore, but it is done by something, which is cooked. I am cooked by someone. Okay, so you already can tell the difference, right? Okay, and after we know what is passive voice, then we go to the pattern of passive voice in simple present. So, in passive voice, we use or we add to be, which is MR in simple present, before the verb. And the verb we use is no longer verb 1, but the past participle or verb 3. Okay, so if the verb 1 is cooked, the verb 3 is cooked. So you still remember about that, right? Okay, so it is no longer subject verb, but subject to be, which is MR, and then followed by past participle or verb 3. Okay, so after knowing the pattern of passive voice in simple present, now we go to the example of passive voice. Okay, so here I have 3 examples of passive voice. The first 2 is from the active voice. So, okay, the first, the robbery steal the jewelry. It is the active voice, right? And then it turns into the jewelry is stolen by the robbery. Okay, so in this first example, we have subject, which is the robber, and then we have the object, which is the jewelry. And it is turned into the jewelry is in the beginning because it is done by something. So the jewelry is the subject, is stolen by the robbery, and the robbery is the one that doing something. Okay, for the second example is the hunter cut the tree for the active voice, and then it turns into the tree is cut by the hunter. Okay, so here we also have a subject and object, which is the subject is the hunter and the object is the tree. In the active voice, the hunter is doing something which is cut, doing something that is done is the tree. So in passive voice, the tree is in the beginning or the subject or something that is done. Yes, it turns into the tree is cut by the hunter. Okay, so and then in the last example is the robot is produced to be an assistant for human. We only have one subject here, and there is no object that is done by the subject. So the last example is we know only the subject that is done. Yes, that is the robot is produced to be an assistant for human. Actually, and the passive voice, it is not important to know who doing something because passive voice only focusing on what is done in the subject. So it is okay for the last example for not having something or someone that is doing something. Okay, now finally we are already on the last section of our material, which is the exercise of today's material. So here I have 5 sentences. There are some active voice and there are some passive voice, and you will turn the active voice into the passive form and also the passive form into the active form. Okay, so let's do the exercise. Okay, so after doing the exercise, let's discuss the answer of the exercise. Let's check it out. Okay, so for number 1, water covers most of the Earth's surface. It is active voice, right? And it changed into most of the Earth's surface is covered by water. At first, it is the subject of the sentence is water because the water is covered or doing something. While in the answer, the subject is most of the Earth's surface because it is done by something. Okay, so next, somebody accused me of stealing money. It is the active form, And then it turns into I am accused of stealing money by someone. Okay, so and somebody accused me of stealing money, we have the subject, which is somebody, and the object is me, but it in passive voice, me here change into the subject form, which is turns into I, because it is done by something. So it turns into I am accused of stealing money, and by somebody here is optional because it is not important who accused me, who do something, but the most important is what happened to the subject. Okay, and next, the new mayor in our town is created by the citizen. For number 3, it is passive voice, so you have to change it into the active form. And it is turned into the citizen creates the new mayor of our town. Next is number 4, the government increases the value-added tax. It is active form, right? And then it changed into the value-added tax is increased by the government. The government at the beginning is the subject, and in the answer, the subject is the value-added tax because the value-added tax is done by something. Okay, and then the last is the glacier is melted down by the global warming. It is passive voice, right? Because you can see here is melted to be and the past participle, and then it turns into the active form, which is the global warming melts down the glacier. Yeah. Okay, so in the exercise, it is the glacier is the subject because it is done by something, and then in the answer, the global warming is the subject because it is the active voice and the global warming is doing something.
So, we already learned about what is passive voice, how is the pattern of passive voice in simple present, and also we have already learned about the example of passive voice, and also we already done some exercise in passive voice. Okay, so that's all from me, and the next video we will still gonna talk about passive voice but in past tense. So that's all. Thank you for watching my videos. Goodbye and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.